Show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver with you for progroupracing.com.au, previewing a big weekend of racing from Melbourne and Sydney. One of my favourite weekends of the day, of the year, Beaver. Epsom and Turnbull Day, two thick cards. I thought Sydney was maybe a little bit underwhelming for what we're used to there, but it is what it is. Can only do the form what we've got. Excited, or how you feeling?
I think similar to you. I thought when Ice Bath is the favourite in an Epsom
and hard to beat,
and possibly
Elliot
hard to
be happy
beat,
because I think I'm tipping him later.
Yeah, probably not as good at Epsom as you would have expected. Although it's been in form, it is one of those tough horses to catch. Yeah. So, but we'll analyse that when we get to it. Probably a little bit underwhelming, the card, but there's still winners in there, and let's see how we go finding them.
Yeah, I've got the track currently as a heavy 8 this morning. I believe there's some more rain around like we've got in Sydney today on and off. Not too bad during the day tomorrow, I believe, later in the afternoon.
Yeah, there's a bit of sun around and a bit of wind, so hopefully that can ensure that the track doesn't get any worse at the best case scenario.
I've worked on sort of soft 7-ish, for better or worse, but the rail is in the 3 metre mark, should play okay. For not as bad as it was a couple of weeks back there. Similar position. I think the day Animo won the Wing Stakes, it was that similar setup, which was okay.
Yep.
We kick off with the babies stepping out for the first time in the first couple of races, starting with the boys in the Breeders Plate, 2-year-olds, Group 3 over the 1,000 metres. I think there's some nice horses in both these races. Did you have a look through anything here?
Yeah, I did have a look through it. There is some nice horses in these races, and they've all trialled quite well. The main ones in the market, at least. So that makes it pretty hard to split. Times you can't tell a great deal. Those all pretty similar, and just depends how hard they were pushed. I went for number 9, Taraboo, from the Waterhouse stable. It's drawn 9, so I think it'll push forward and try and take up the lead, or at least sit on pace. And that'll give us a good sign of how the track is playing. So I had it on top, but plenty of chances there if you like anything.
I liked Mark 10 as a horse I actually filmed out at Fernrig. Well, watched someone else film, as I do. I supervise Beaver. But very nice horse, $1 million horse at the sales as well. But great trial there, just ploughed through the line on pace. Gets inside gate, which seems to be a key, well, obviously is a key for these babies, to have a last shot, and is a good each-way price. And you mentioned Tarabath. I thought that was a great trial as well for the Waterhouse team, who have lots of chances both these races. And I thought they were the main two I'm going to play here.
Yep.
Physical Graffiti did trial well, but and there's plenty more here. You could make a case for a lot of these. Excited to see how it pans out. But
watch the market.
Yeah. The girls step out in the Gimcrack in the race 2 here. Again, Group 3 over the 1,000, where I thought Perfect Proposal was a fantastic trial. Just ploughed around. It was a faster trial of Daisy said. Not much in a lot of those times, but ploughed around under her own steam and looked a big, strong type. English Easter yearling, actually, which you don't generally see a lot of in here. The rest are all sort of the early sales, so it must be quite forward as well. And I think it's going to be very hard to beat. And I did like the other one here at a price is Just Gisela, who Michael Fried might have a nice day tomorrow. Got chopped out in that trial, picked herself up and just hit the line really well, and is double figures and will run well here. I think wide gated concern, and then all the other Waterhouse runners trialled like Waterhouse runners, so they'll all be up on pace and give you a sniff if you like any of them. Did you have a thought on these?
Yeah, I thought similar to you. Perfect Proposal. I thought Jiggy jogged around quite nicely and won that quite comfortably. I thought it had a little bit of in hand, and Gate 8 looks a good setup here. Can come across and find a position wherever it wants there. Sting out of the track should be okay, and I thought it looked the hardest to beat, so had it on top, similar to you.
Lovely. We get into the more exposed stuff now, the mile. No highways or midways tomorrow, which is refreshing. A mile benchmark 88, though, comes up next. Beaver, what have you made of this?
Yeah, I like this race.
I'm keen on a couple.
Yeah, some really good horses here in this race, and plenty of chances again. I think the first sort of 6 in the market, all in single-figure odds, all backable, and all with good chances. I settled on Hosier. Second up here, I just think this horse, I'm quite surprised by the price at $6.50. Drawn gate 10, so I think it'll push forward and look for a position there. Gets the 2 kilo claim, so, it's probably it was giving a bit of weight to some of these, and probably that helps get in at 59. So only sort of giving sort of 7 kilos to some of the other horses in the market, which is a bit of a pull in the weights. But I think this horse is going well enough to run a really good race. And Mahogany was pretty good, albeit in the midway, was it last week?
Yeah, midway, yep.
So I thought it presented well, and I thought that was a really impressive run. Even though it wasn't as a good a quality race as this, so I had hit as the main danger.
I'm with you. I've got Hosier on top as well. I'm pretty keen. I think it's going to run really well. Only lightly raced 6-year-old, likes all the sting out of the ground. Six wins from 7 starts in the soft, and a placing just for good measure. Like the claim for Dylan Gibbons. I like the fact that they've set up the big dance $2 million race for the bush horses, and struggling owner Lloyd Williams has sent Hosier out to Coffs Harbour to get a ticket in. So well done, Lloyd. Hope you pull through there and find a winner one day.
Yep.
But anyway, he obviously a target, and he's going to run well here.
Yep.
Will roll forward and be very hard to beat with the claim. Casino Kid has gone out to the bush to pick up a ticket into that the big dance as well, and I think it's going to run well, going quite well here. We'll be back and wide. I think they're the two I'm keenest on. They're both backable in the same race.
Yeah, Casino Kid's going good and had form in town as well.
So keen on both of them. Just steered away from the midway form, and he lost J-Mac there as well. So happy at the price to go away from that. The Hill Stakes Group. What's going on today? Sparkling water. Group 2, Wait for Age over the 2,000 metres is up next. Stockman and Luncey's come out. I assume Luncey's is going down to Melbourne later, which is excellent. Montefilia, short price favourite. Are they going to beat her?
Looks hard to beat. Thought it was a little bit skinny at the price. I did think the only danger was Cascadian, and it's had the extra run under its belt. So I thought it could be the main danger. I did put Montefilia on top. $1.85 I thought was a touch skinny, but look on top in front of Cascadian, the only danger.
Yeah, I think she had a nice return there. Sets up well for this. Is the proven Group 1 middle distance horse here, and will be hard to beat. I don't think Jason Calder will have her too far away. Numerian resumed well and could lead his field up. I thought it was a danger, but obviously Cascadian's got real claims here and has ran well in both of its. But I agree Monty's too short. I can probably take black figures though.
Yeah,
and be pretty comfy there. Race 5 is the Dulcify Stakes over the mile. A listed race here. Not the most enthusiastic listed race I've ever seen. I'm actually going to stick with a Scientist who will roll forward in this field. As both runs to date have been pretty good. Does have to now get to Randwick, but he's coming home for the Waterhouse team. We'll roll forward here, and this is almost a midweek race, if we're being honest here. And just at double figures, he's going to give a nice sight out in front there. Can see there's been some money for it. From Flag of Honour, who did resume well in stronger stuff, chasing Golden Mile. Inside Gate, I'm hoping does go forward. And I'm pegging a lot of these as a level below this race, so that's what I'm sticking with. I do respect Communist. Big win last time. Before that, just got home at Hawkesbury. Does have J-Mac, blah, 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 but probably a bit short for me. So Scientist on top here. How are you thinking of this one?
Yeah, I've gone Flag of Honour. First 2 wins were pretty good and wasn't disappointing at all in the last Group 3 race behind Golden Mile, who come out and stamped its form as a real good horse. It finished off really nicely in that race. I think it'll be further improved by that. 1600 should hopefully sit a little bit closer here, just off the pace, and get the right run at the right time with Huey Bowman aboard. So Flag of Honour on top for me. Yep, I think Scientist is a good chance. And Williamsburg is building up to a win as well.
Yeah, interested in that Williamsburg form in a Melbourne race, actually, which I'll talk about later. The first of the Group 1s is up next. The Flight Stakes for the fillies, 3-year-olds over the mile. We've seen this form all tied together pretty strongly. Were you surprised Fireburn's favourite here, or is that how you're thinking?
I wasn't surprised at all.
You keen?
I am keen. I think it's now or never, this preparation. Plenty of excuses. Wasn't really ready to win first up. Behind In Secret. Got back and wasn't a run-on race and did okay. Really good last up. Finished off again really hard. Behind Jacquino. Was well back. Drew gate 15, went back to pretty much the tail. and ran a really good last 200. Again, I think now this is sort of the target they've been setting it for. So I think it's primed to win here, and this is not a deep field. Pretty average field here. Should be hard to beat.
Yeah, this is one of those fields, and it's the same all through these Group 1s where you end up just saying, well, the form is the form, so who's going to win it? Yeah, I think I've got her on top too. You've covered it off quite well. I thought she might have been longer. They might jump closer together to her and do gotcha. Almost the run of the lead up was Wolverine. Hey, got chopped out there when you go back and watch that race. Just got held up and had to come right across hills. Hit the line like a mile's going to suit, and he gets an inside gate here for the one of the better inside gate riders in Jay Collett. Going to be hard to beat over the mile, and the other two in the market are the two you've discussed, Gotcha and Fireburn. One for your early quaddies, Pavitra. I was half keen on if it had gone to Melbourne here. It's 50s, and I have a little spec at it because it's different form and has won over the 1800 in the mile already. And you're getting 50s to find that out, but it's more an exotic play there. The quaddie itself kicks off with the 1200 metre Premier Stakes, weight for age Group 2, where we see, I think there's 4 Everest runners here. Thorwick's going to Melbourne. How have you lined this up out of the Nature Strip race, or are you looking elsewhere?
I think you got to go out of the Nature Strip race. They're the main players. They look to be the best horses. Look, it was hard to miss. Lost and Running first up. Thought it was pretty good. So I've got it on top again. I like the horse. I've followed it on a number of occasions. I think it'll be super hard to beat here. I think this just sets up perfectly. Gate 3 gets the run just off the speed. Likes the Randwick track, and soft going doesn't hurt it either. So clear on top for me. Just want to see Marzu produce again, back again, top class.
Well, off
company.
that race, it was clearly the better run, Lost and Running, I thought.
Yep, 100%. So it on top.
Now, the horses that aren't, I agree, on top for me as well, but the horses that aren't in the Everest, there's two that interest me here, and It To Me was a really good run last start. It just got chopped out. You could argue it should have nearly beaten Shades of Rose, who is in the Everest, and won really well in Queensland before that, and gets JMac. It's 20s. It will be going in my quaddie when I get to that. And the one I wanted to get your thoughts on coming off a bush trial, but is a talented horse, was Apache Chase.
Yep.
How do you line it up? Just a level below, or maybe
yeah? I think it's a level
more?
below. You've just got to see it in a quality field like this. You know, it got run down by Emerald Kingdom at Rockhampton in a weight for age there when it looked all but home, and then
Did beat Paulile, but
Yeah. And in the Group 1, just didn't stack up at Eagle Farm behind Alligator Blood. I just quite not sure yet where it's at. But trialled well. But in this company, want to see it produced first.
yeah, fair call. The TAB Epsom over the mile, Group 1 handicap. I did say last week we were going to do a runner-by-runner preview, but this race stinks, so I didn't really bother. And so we'll just analyse it as it is and what we've got in front of us. I have ended up finding on top, well, the two in that lead the market are two hardest to beat. I've gone around hinged because I think Ice Bath is flying. I think the wet suits and it gets JMac. And I know it's a bit of a nonny, but I think it's finally had the planets aligned to win her Group 1. I think she's won, $5 million or something along the way, but we'll finally get a Group 1 next to her name as well.
It's not bad. $4.5 million it's won. It's only ever won 4 races.
Yeah. I think it's a chance here to win 5.
It's only won 2 out of 22 at this track, the 12 placings.
And, yeah, it's the story of her career. So wouldn't mind owning her, but I think she can emulate Dad here and win an Epsom from top rank. Really nice resumption. Now second up in third prep in Australia. Looked to come back well and drawn for a nice Snipers Bowman ride. And I'm sort of keen that they're the two main ones. I think everyone's a bit carried away with hinged with no weight and all that sort of thing. But I just think Ice Bath will run her down.
Yep.
What do you think?
I've gone for top ranked. Was well found first up. It was a really good run. Just really liked the way it sat off the pace, hit the line, carried the 59.5, so it gets 3 kilo off its back for this in a Group 3. So stepping up nicely here. Prior to that, just trialled okay, wasn't given much, and then did run fifth behind Very Elegant over 1,600 back at Randwick in February on a heavy track and finished off quite nicely there. I think this horse is a horse, a pretty good horse, and I think it's drawn well here. I think it sits just off the pace here, and I think it will figure in the finish in some way, shape or form. The other two I have marked that I would save on is Fangirl. I think third up now. Its first up run was really good, and then was okay last start. Second up in a Group 1 behind Animo. Held form not too bad there. I think it can be really hard to beat here with the right run, so I'd certainly save on that. And I think Kiku.
Yeah, it was a soft win, wasn't it?
It was a really soft win last start. And then if you go back, ran fifth behind Star Tontes in the Group 1 up there, and I think it was also behind Snap Dancer on the Gold Coast back in last prep, ran third, only a couple of lengths. So it's got good enough form here. It's got the right trainer and a decent enough jockey. $35, you'll probably get 40s.
That was a big win first. I know it was an average field, but it was a big win.
Yeah. So I wouldn't rule it out.
Good day for Jason Collett, potentially, from where Howard tipping. The Metropolitan is up next, 2,400 metre Group 1 handicap as well. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, pretty deep race here. But I have got the favourite on top, Durston.
Yep.
Looks a clear on top for me. It just looks a really good stayer in the making here. Was very good in the Newcastle Gold Cup and the Wine Cup as well. So just a horse that's picked up those. This is sort of the targets on the way, and it'll be looking for a Melbourne Cup run. And I think, I wouldn't rule it out of being a real good contender in the Melbourne Cup at this stage. So keen to see how it runs. Got it on top. Should handle these conditions and looks right to go. The other two horses that I thought could run well was Hammer On.
Well, I think Wallace would have thought he's got this in well here at 53.
Yep, at 53, I think it's in well. Gets the extra 500. Look, finished really well last start behind Quality Time, which is a quality horse. So I think the fact that it's running and is a progressive stayer on the way up, I think it can run well. I'd be saving on a hit. And Realm of Flowers, third up. We know it's got a little bit of ability as well. So I thought it ran okay last start. I'd just keep a watch on that. But the other two are my two picks.
Durston on top, you've summed that up perfectly for me. I know there were two JMac specials, but they did bolt in both of them. And obviously the weight's just been the issue there. We'll run well here. Can't not run well. And I'm just sick of a lot of the rest of these. I'd Grove Fairy as the danger. Ken Winona, hold on in front there and maybe stick on for a Group 1. And like I said, I think they would believe they've got Hammer On quite well for a first crack at a Group 1. But pretty keen Durston's going to be very hard to beat. And the last is the benchmark 94 over the 1,200 metres. How are you finishing the day?
Yeah, I'm finishing with Remark. I'm finishing the last race, number 3. Very good first up. Gets up to 59 here, still holding that weight. So it's giving a little bit of weight to some of these horses. But I think there was a lot to like about its first up run. And we know this horse is packed with plenty of potential. Track conditions, only had the one on the heavy, didn't really excite on that. So and hasn't.
I do think if it's heavy, it probably comes out.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a question mark there. So that'll be a bit of a guide. If it starts, then the track may have improved a little bit. But I liked that run. Drawn gate 6, super hard to beat in a pretty tough race. Yeah, that's what I've got. And maybe the resuming Steely could run well first up.
Yeah, I agree. If the track suits and they leave it in, I think it's here to run well. I think it was a nice resumption to get to come back a much better horse since the gelding, and will run well. From look back and Alia chased at home was okay. I'm going to give quaddy wise at least President one more chance. Trialled up fantastically, just busted and dropped out. Has trialled fine since. So one more chance here if you've had a crack at it. First up, maybe a little thing there at the double figures to get your money back. And Coal Crush will go on the quaddy as well, which I will look at now. We kick off in the Premier Stakes quaddy. We're going to go 1 Lost and Running, 3 Marzu, 4 Apache Chase, 12 It's Me, into 1 Top Ranked, 4 Nimali, 5 Ice Bath, 8 Hinged, 7 Kiku, Then we'll go 7 Durston, 10 Realm of Flowers, 11 Grove Fairy, 15 Hammer-On, and come home with 2 O President, 3 Remark, 5 Steely, 7 Coal Crusher, 11 Bacchanalia. As you can see, I've gone wide in a couple of legs, thinking I think it's either you could even have a smaller quaddy with your favourites there.
Yep.
Ones on those sort of days, but there might be a little twist in the tail there, Beaver. Have you got a best and roughie for us?
Yeah, my best of the day is race 6, N1 Fireburn. It should be bouncing back to the winner's circle, and my value bet comes up in race 3, N2 Hosier.
That's the same as me. Race 3, N2 Hosier is my value. I'm going to make my best perfect proposal. I was pretty enamoured with her, and I think she's going to run well as in the Gimcrack there. Looking forward to it at Randwick tomorrow. We head down to Flemington, where there's a bit less rain. As my screen refreshes, rail is in the 9 metre mark. And I think we've got a good track, a bit of drizzle around today, but it should be fine. By the time we get there race day tomorrow, we have 9 races, the Group 1 Turnbull, the feature, but the 2-year-olds kick us off again with the Marabynong Trial, 1,000 metres up the straight for a listed race for the 2-year-olds. A couple have come out. How are you going to start it? Anything here caught your eye?
Look, pretty hard to get a line on these. I just went for number 10, Charmstone. Thought it looked a major player, and Jamie Carr on board, firing on all cylinders. I had it on top.
Yeah, did try well. The couple double figures or close to double figures that I sort of thought trialled quite well. Acapella Moon was one of them for the Price team. He found a line nicely in the trial there, and his double figures for a good stable. And Mount Olympus did power around in the trial and was pretty good. Bred to be a wet tracker. I think Uriel's mother was a wet tracker, so could get whatever that means, given it's good. Anyway, we'll move on. But I thought they were both over the odds. Obviously, Charmstone has been well found. The Paris Lane is up next, listed at 1,400 metres. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I've got Visionary on top here. I think this is a pretty good horse. And again, the same combination. I went in the first, Car Price, flying at the moment. Last time in, first up, won by about 7 or 8 lengths. And then went on to bigger and better things against some fairly good quality horses. At Flemington, loves the track. Should jump on pace here and be super hard to beat. 1,400 really suits. Got a bit of a watch on character. I was pretty disappointed. It is third up now. I thought, they backed it off the map last start, and it was a bit disappointing at Newcastle, I thought, in a pretty winnable race over the 1,500, and steps back here to 1,400. So I'm not quite sure what that's about, because I thought it would want further. So just going to watch on that, and it's been scratched from Sydney.
A bit like me today.
Yeah, you're rubbing off on me. But Visionary clearly on top here.
Yeah, not much more to add. Made Tuvalu work, who's a borderline Group 1 horse. Before it went out, trials are good. Comes back here, should win. The Gardener roll along on pace and give it something to chase. And the other danger I had has been scratched. So it's my best of the day, Visionary. I'm not going to labour the point. Race 3, Edward Manifold. Over the mile for the fillies, Group 2. Take out the top couple here, and it's a benchmark 64 race, which leaves me. I do have She's Lickety Split on top. Was wide and pretty good. Mile will suit. Third up now, and drawn to get a nice blending run there. I had the danger, actually, who's a bit forgotten here, Moko, who ran around on the bogs in Sydney last time. Chased Williamsburg, who admittedly hasn't really set the water fires. He's coming back, but the resumption was really nice out the back on the Syntho. Flashed home, straight to a mile. I think has to run well here at around 10 or 11 bucks. And pretty keen near the 2. Typhoon Titmus, 6-day backup will run well as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, I had Moko on top, Moko as well. Went for car. First 3 races here. I liked it for all the reasons that you said. I think it's an improving type. Finished off very nicely last time in. I think this certainly suits. It was a short price. It was 2s on, and just got back out of its ground and flew home. I think I like following horses when they've done that, and then they still bring them to town. I think they've got a bit of a opinion here. And
it doesn't have to get back to last either. I'm pretty sure it can sit closer.
Yeah, that's right.
It did lead up, I think. Orbit led up in Randwick.
Yeah, I just hope they do sit and give it the last shot at them. I thought it is a very good chance, and I thought the other blue colours was the danger, Sumatra.
Yep.
Certainly a good chance with Ollie on board, and they were the two that I liked, the blues.
Lovely. I like it when you find those ones at odds, especially when I have two. The Rose 4 is the Rose of Kingston over the 1,400 metres of Group 2 for the 4-year-old mares. I was with her first up at a price. I think she probably should have won that race. Yearning has come back really well. Inside gate now is probably my only concern, to be honest, but hopefully can sit closer. Hoping that we get a bit of pace up front from Pride of Jenny and can get a nice big gap along the fence there, halfway up the straight, and power through the line is going to run well. Exalita has to run well here. Was a nice return in the ingratiating race, was wide and line okay straight out to a mile. Did trial really well coming here, and I think is going to run really well. And and then there's watches on Argentia resuming, but I think this is a pretty straightforward race. I'm keen on those two. And look, Pride of Jenny's going to give you a side 8 in front if you're inclined that way as well.
Over to me. I've gone for Argentia. Goes well first up. Look, I think it's the best horse in the race here. So I'm a bit. I'm pretty happy with the price at $5.50. Goes, as I said, goes well for fresh. I think Flemington suits 1,400 metres. Can just get back and give them the last shot at these. And if it produces its best form, it's going to be super hard to hold out. Generally doesn't run a bad race. Its last race that was a 7th, and that was in the Goodwood behind Snap Dancer, where was barrier 13 and got snagged back and flashed home for 7th. So I think it's clearly on top for me.
Yeah, cool. Not going to argue at all. It's a very talented mare. The Danehill, 1,100 metres up the straight for the 3-year-olds. Group 2 is next. Short price favourite in Giga Kick, who just ticks into the red. Is that the way you're leading?
Yeah, I am leading towards Giga Kick. I think this suits perfectly for it. Drawn out in 10 won't hurt. Can just sit in there. Just off the pace, and can be produced at the clock tower, and I don't think there's anything here that can hold it out.
Yeah, not much to add. The one at odds outside the market, Great Barrier Reef off the maiden win. The format of that held up in the midweek at Rosehill actually the other day. Tribeca Star won from whoever finished third there, and at the 20s again, sort of more for early quarters. I think may be a fast improver, but Giga Kick trial fantastic in between the short prep as well, and going to be very hard to beat. The Bart Cummings, 2,510 metres, a Group 3 for a ticket into the Cup. All of our old favourites are here, and I'm going to be pretty honest, I have no idea. So I'm going to have maybe something small in King of the Castle, now third up. Lloyd Williams' team ran okay last time out, but let's watch and learn and maybe not back any of these in a Melbourne Cup. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I got a bit better of a guide than hopefully that. I've gone for Daquin Sweet Jr. again.
Yeah.
I've gone for Carr. Third up here. I think this really sets up nicely here. Was just given a run around in first up run over the 1,700 at Caulfield. Was last and finished off okay. And then in the Group 3, got back and I thought it finished off quite nicely again behind Smoke and Romans. Gets out now to suitable distance, the 2,500, third up, Carr aboard. I think it's probably one of the hardest to beat here in a fairly not an overly tough race to get a start in the Cup. So I had hit on top. I couldn't go Desert Icon.
No, too concerned. Well, it had a picnic in front.
Had a picnic in front, but if you look at this, it's had 4 starts at this track. We're in 1 placing, and this distance does test it. I think the 2,500. So not maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. It may just get a druggy trot up in front here. I'm just trying to look for where the pace is, and there doesn't look to be
because I obviously went round it. Not that I gave much of an opinion, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it won this race if it just rolled along in front.
Yeah,
took off at the top of the straight, but yeah, what do you do? I'll stick with you there. All right, I'll take your advice. We get to anything else you want to mention in that race?
No, that's it.
Cool. the Group 1 Turnbull. Set weights and penalties, 2,000 metres is up next. Interesting race. What have you done with this field?
Yeah, it is an interesting race because a lot of, not a lot of these horses have won last start or even last couple of starts. So a lot of horses sort of working into their preparation here as well. And obviously this is part of a target probably going on for some of these to a Caulfield Cup or Melbourne Cup. So that makes it a bit of a hard guide to line up. I've gone for Young Werther at $12.
You love this horse.
I do like this horse. I'm not willing to give up on it yet. It ran second in the Turnbull last year behind Incentivise. So that's a pretty good guide, I think, for this
Is
type
it brother
of race.
to Surprise Baby? I'd
Yes.
just make it in my head because
I don't know.
you tipped Surprise Baby for 3 years leading up to this.
They might as
You
well
would have tipped
be.
Surprise Baby here as well, but anyway.
Yeah, but this is, I thought this was a pretty good horse as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm going to stick with it. Again, it's only one from 12, but it's always raced in pretty good company. And probably had some excuses. This preparation is the preparation to see if there is really anything in the engine of Young Werther, and I'm hoping there is because I've tipped it tomorrow on top. What do you think?
Dewis pulled up lame last time, and you could actually see her go lame in the run when you watch a replay. About 300 to go, poor bugger started feeling sorry for herself there. But if she's here in one piece, this was the run that she exploded last time. Same setup to win the Australian Cup last prep. By all rights, I think if she's here in 100%, runs well. And I was looking outside the mark. I think Surefire has to run well here at $16, and I think that a couple right outside the market that I'm going to throw in a quaddy, Crystal Pegasus and Luncys, who are both, you're probably going to get nearly triple figures in some places tomorrow afternoon. I think they're worth a stab in a race. I struggle to really get my head around beyond that. I think there's a lot you can pen, but then I don't know who to really put the circle around. So I was left with Dewis from, I think Young Werther does run well, just for the record. I think Allegron runs well, but in my mind, it's a plotted and St. Ledger horse, but it was a nice win last start. Dewis from, almost second pick there would be Surefire for me. And I think Surefire's got like 50 kilos in a Caulfield Cup, and he might give you a sight there too, but we'll know more there. Don't know if I really answered much. Dewis, if she's fit 100%, it's going to be hard to beat. The Gilgai is up next. Do I have any better clarity for this 1,200 metre Group 2? Not really. Tricky race here. I did like the win of Baller. I thought that was almost all honours there, and it's $9 again. Blake Shin jumps on board. I think has to run well again here on the other side of the track, admittedly, and I'm going to just stick with Serious Suspect as well, who keeps battling on up the straight there and winning these sort of races, and is $15. I know it's slightly up in grade, but the so-called better horses, which one might be a Thelric, I'd almost have a question mark over 1,200 metres. So I thought Baller was really strong through the line, and I think has to run well again here.
Yeah, I've gone Rockin' Horse.
Well, that was the other same form there, I guess.
Yeah. So I thought, again, was pretty good behind Baller last start. We know it's won a big race down the Flemington Straight before. So I thought that was a good run. Similarly, and it was pretty good, only a couple of lengths behind Bella Nipotina first up. So I've got it on top in a pretty open race here. Baller is the main danger, and Private Eye resuming can run well.
Where's Private Eye going? Why is it there? Why is it in that race?
Don't know. That's why I've just got a question
What
mark.
price would it be in the Epsom? Third up into an Epsom, you'd be almost tipping it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it hasn't started.
Anyway.
So anyway, maybe
I
a
know.
few problems.
I'm saying maybe it's at a setback. The Superimpose wraps us up over the 1,800 metres, a listed race again as the last stop on the way to the Derby, where I'm giving Major Bill another chance. He was stuck outside lead all the way around Flemington last time. Still held on okay there and was only grabbed in the shadows. If it gets a cleaner run here, I think does run well. And then I wrote a whole spiel about Pavitro, who's been scratched. So there's that. Mr. Maestro has to run well, but did have the perfect run there behind Major Bill last time. What do you like here? I'm assuming you're going to probably just tip Jamie Carrigan.
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, Art Zeno, sorry.
I'm going to go Art Zeno.
Yeah.
I liked the last start win. It was against Ferrari Man, well found in the market. Ferrari Man's actually come out and won in a jog trot after that. This looks like a horse on the way up. Only third start. Ollie on board. Art Zeno on top for me.
Lovely. Well, that was very concise, Beaver.
Yep.
What's your quaddy numbers?
Quaddy numbers starting in race 6. I am going number 4, Daquin's Sweet Junior. I'm going number 10, Interpretation.
Tomorrow's a day, isn't it?
Yep.
Forget about it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep. And that's it. I'm just going short in the
Ooh,
first
okay.
leg. I'm going skinny.
Yep.
Dangerous, but skinny. So I'm going to back up a bit in a few legs later. In the next race, I'm going number 2, Duas. I'm going number 5, Great House.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm going number 12, Gold Trip. Number 11, Young Werther. And number 8, Inspirational Girl. In the 8th race, down the straight, I'm going number 1, Private Eye. Number 2, Baller. Number 6, Rockin' Horse. Number 9, Zutori. And to finish the day, I'm going number 1, Mr. Maestro. Number 2, Major Beal. Number 3, Red Sun Sensation. Number 4, Art Zeno. And number 11, Cardazio.
Lovely. So look across the 2 big Group 1 meetings tomorrow over the long weekend in Queensland.
I'll do my best bet and value.
Oh,
bet
yeah, do
first.
that too. I should probably do that as well.
I'm going
I'll write
race
down.
7, number 11, Young Werther as my value bet. I think it can run really well. And my best bet of the day comes up in race 5, number 3, Giga Kick.
Lovely. I'm going to make my best Visionary. It's just in the odds on now, but we'll win that race. And I've got Moko as my value. Keen, it runs well out to the mile there. Second up. So good betting day. Keen on chances in both states. What do we have in the top state up there?
Up at Eagle Farm,
Yeah.
I've got race 2, number 2, Otara. Think it can run well. Nice win last start. Race 4, number 7, McTaffy. Also a good winner last start. A shorty but a goodie. Race 5, number 1, We Own a Smart One. And then later in the day, I'm going race 8, number 2, Bottega. Think it can win again.
Lovely. Who wins the grand final?
Panthers.
I think they've got the key to Parramatta now.
They're about $1.37, $1.40.
I thought I heard that 13 plus was favourite in the match.
Mate, they should be $1.15.
$1.20, $1.15.
Mate, they're clear cut. They're playing first, fourth. They're clearly on top team all season. They took care of Parramatta first week of finals quite comfortably. Parramatta were lucky to beat the Cowboys. If they play like that, they'll be down 20 at half time. Penrith will just wear them down and be too strong.
Does Cleary just win Clive Churchill as well? Probably.
Probably. The bloke's a genius. I mean, how they can be talking about Daly Cherry Evans playing in front of that bloke. Seriously, if anyone says that, they've never watched a game of football in their life.
I don't think he will be. I think he'll be in the squad, but he'll obviously be the Australian halfback by the time we get there. And I'm going to go, Penrith will win. They've got the key. They're going to bomb Wacker Blake off the field, and they've already shut down their second rows enough times. Check out Footy and Frothies. I'm going there to the pub to preview this game in
Look forward to it.
much more stupor. And Appy, Clive Churchill. I think he's been great every game.
I would go Appy, except
But they're going to give it to Cleary. So
I can't understand why he doesn't start.
No, I can't
Just
either.
kills me.
That's a myth.
He's- He's a
different chap, but
player.
he
Mitch Kenny's just
he got them going
He's
last
barely
week.
a first grader.
Yeah,
He's the worst player in their 17.
Appy changed the game when he came on last week.
Not that he's a bad player, but he's the
17th player into 17.
Yeah, he is 100%.
Anyway, check out progretracing.com.au. Check out our tips. Beaver tipped. What did you tip? 4 out of 5 yesterday at all at a good price. 5 out of 6 at wherever we were. Say Hawkesbury and Geelong. I've got some bets for Moonee Valley tonight. There'll be a couple of articles up twice a week there for free, of course. Sign up to our mailing list to get our show into your inbox every Friday night. Beaver, enjoy the punt, and we will talk next Wednesday for our midweek show.
That we will.
Take it easy.